15 barrier, a little worry, but 2 starts ago he just lost that race because he was a little bit inexperienced. He's only had the 4 starts, this horse, but his run behind Stony Bay was excellent, so he's there with a good chance.
Pomcell, number 3, to be ridden by Danny Nikolic, went around in the Caulfield Guineas and found that a bit too hot, finishing 6th behind St Covered. Then dropped in class and ran in the Derby trial at Geelong behind Stony Bay. Finished 6 lengths from the winner here. Maybe better suited over this distance, I think.
I think that's right, Peter. I think the 1800 is going to suit him a lot better here. He just battled on at Geelong, so 1800, yeah, a place chance here.
My Turf Accountant, number 4, to be ridden by Jim Cassidy, trained by Mick Kent at Cranbourne. Last start 2nd at Geelong and steps up in class a bit here.
Yes, at Geelong he got back, Pete, and he was restrained to the end of the field. He ran on, but I only gave him a place chance.
Number 5 is Raving Halo, went around in the same race at Geelong and in fact finished 3rd, with My Turf Accountant finishing 2nd in that race behind Cotton Hall.
Well, I liked his run at Geelong. He got back. Today's 1800 metres now. He's going to be up a little bit more handy today. He's got a very good each-way chance in this race.
Number 8, Alade, to be ridden by Darren Beedman, trained by Graham Begg at Randwick, and has been showing reasonable form in Sydney over 1900 metres, a little bit longer than this race, so you wouldn't think he'd have too many problems with the trip, that's one thing.
Well, Peter, he's a bit of a one-pacer for mine. He's very well bred, this fellow. He's out by Sedative out of Drawaway. She was a terrific mare. He just seems to go the one pace. If he's there at the last 200, well, he may stick on.
Number 9 is Governor Gazelle, David Taggart, the rider here, and he won back on the 1st of October here at Flemington, defeating Zero Limit. If you give Zero Limit a chance, you've probably got to include Governor Gazelle, and as you said, forget that last start at Caulfield.
Yes, totally forget that one. He was three wide in midfield at Flemington at his last start. Prior to that, look, this horse has got a lot of ability. He gets back in his races, but he really runs on strongly towards the finish. I think he's got a terrific each-way chance at fairly good odds.
Sum it up for us, Jen. Race 6.
Peter, I'm going for number 5, Raving Halo, to win from number 1, Chelsworth, and number 9, Governor Gazelle, to run 3rd.
I think the top 2 will fight it out, and I think Lee Freeman might get another winner with Zero Limit here from Chelsworth as they go to the stalls now for the running of race number 6. And My Turf Accountant not anxious to lead the race. He's at $10.40. What about the others, Dad?
Chelsworth and Zero Limit, according to the punters. Peter, are the main 2 here. You can tell $3.30 and $4.50 respectively for horses 1 and 2. Pomcell $15.50, My Turf Accountant $10.40, Raving Halo $5.80, Norfolk $27.40, Alade at $10 even, Governor Gazelle $12.50, Remui $26.10, Shootout $41.10, Cammy's Boy $57, Napier Street $68, and Peter Dark Luster at $94 makes him the rank outsider of the field.
Raving Halo a little bit late to lead the mounting yard, number 5. He's just going out now with the clerk of the course, and he'll join the other horses. As they go to the stalls, we'll take a break. Back to Flemington on day 3 of the 1994 VRC Spring Carnival after this.
One moment's time.
1800 metres is the distance. Light goes on, gates crash back, and they're off and racing now. Our favourite missed the start, 2 lengths, Zero Limit. It was very slow to begin, and one of the first out was Cammy's Boy. My Turf Accountant up away fairly, but being caught wide on the track, the jockey had to restrain it a little bit. Shootout was going through in the middle, and also Norfolk. They're going to race handy to the lead, and as they go to the 1400 metre point, Shootout led from on the outside of it now, Remui and Norfolk. A length away, 4th Pomcell, followed by Alade. Then Cammy's Boy racing on the inside of My Turf Accountant and Chelsworth. Then came Zero Limit back to the inside after a tardy start. Around the outside of it, Governor Gazelle, about a half a length to Napier Street, Raving Halo and Dark Luster last of all. 1,000 metres left to travel. Shootout led a neck to Remui. A length and a half away, Norfolk and Pomcell 4th. 1 away, My Turf Accountant out 3 wide. Cammy's Boy on the inside. About a length and a half then to Chelsworth on the outside of Zero Limit. Governor Gazelle around them 3 deep, and then came Dark Luster to the outside of Napier Street. And last of all, Raving Halo up to the turn, 700 metres to go. And Remui is challenging Shootout. A length away, Norfolk. My Turf Accountant out wide. Pomcell in behind them, and then came Governor Gazelle, Cammy's Boy. Alade in between horses and taken out wider as they made the home turn, Dark Luster. And they were followed by Charlesworth, trying to be put into the race, but he's only got 4 behind him. Zero Limit taking a shortcut down to the rail, gets to about 6th. At the 400-metre point, the gap comes from Pomcell now. Zero Limit's going to try and follow it through. Pomcell goes to Remuy. Now Zero Limit into the clear. My Turf Accountant and Charlesworth. Remuy and Pomcell from Zero Limit. Charlesworth, My Turf Accountant, Raving Halo. Pomcell in front of Remuy. Then Zero Limit followed by Raving Halo. Pomcell in front of Remuy near the post, and Charlesworth, and Pomcell will win. Pomcell beat Remuy, Charlesworth third. Then Zero Limit, Raving Halo, Cammy's Boy Allied, followed by My Turf Accounts and a break to Napier Street. Further back in the field, the Governor Gazelle, Dark Luster, Norfolk and Shootout.
Well, Pomcell, it was a very good win, but Zero Limit missed the start and then got in quite a bit of trouble during the run. In the straight, I thought he was going to get a nice run through, but unfortunately the gap closed. Then when the run did come, I think the horse, the early effort just told on him. He just couldn't get to the line at all. But it was, it was a very good win of number 3, Pomcell. Went to the line very well for Danny Nicolai.
Rode it well. It was in the box seat throughout, Gary, and when you consider Charlesworth was such a long way back and not a lot of luck for Zero Limit, the one to beat obviously with the run was for the winner, Pomcell.
Now here's the head on here. Now 3 out from the rail is Ramu, and that's in the white. Is Damien Olive going for this run between them? There's not a lot of room there. Gradually gets through, but I think the early effort told. I'm not sure what happened at the start, Dan. I actually couldn't pick it up whether he missed it. There's the winner arrowed here. Pomcell going to the line very well. But it'll be interesting just to see the start, what happened there, whether he reared up or went back or slipped at the start. I'm not sure.
Well, I saw him leaving the gates. He was wide out on the track, but he was a clear 2 or 3 lengths slowly away. With Damien trying to ride him up, and he obviously with that tardy beginning he had to switch back to the rail to save the ground perhaps that he missed at the start.
Well, that's right. It's very difficult once you lose the start in a race.
Here is the start
coming up now. He's right on the outside. You can't quite see him there. There he is in the white right at the back. He's clearly a couple of lengths behind the other horses there.
And ridden hard too, so he maybe in a little bit of a piggish mood. Zero Limit, still performance was quite good. Pomcell, trained by Mark Riley, a horse that figured 6th placing in the Caulfield Guineas. They had their eye on some very big races with him, and it was nice to pick out the sweet pickings, Pete, of the $45,000 Como Centre Stakes.
Yes, Mark Riley's just joined us down here on the mounting yard. Well, Dan just said you did fly pretty high with him in the Caulfield Guineas, so you might have a bit of an opinion of this fella.
We'd had no luck in the Caulfield Guineas. He sort of settled back too far away from him, and when they run that sort of time, they ran the last half mile very quick. You can't make ground on really good horses, and I think he's proved today that the horse is a little bit above the average 3-year-olds.
Nice game win today because the challengers were getting behind him, and at the 200 it looked as though they might start lining up to beat him, but he was doing better than anything on the line probably.
Yeah, he was. He was most probably. We were in 2 minds whether he ran the horse in the Derby and had a good look at the field with the owners in the Derby and decided to run in this race today. I didn't think we could beat the first 3 place getters as they turned out, and well, we were right for a change. It's good to be right.
Well done, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark Riley, the winning trainer with Pomcell. Here's Johnny Letts with Danny Nicolai.
Danny, a good ride and a good strong win.
Good strong win, Johnny. I was right with the run. He's a good honest horse, this horse. He had the run of the race. He just keeps grinding the line. He's a good honest horse.
Danny, he had a lot of challenges about 200 out, but he fought them all off.
Yeah, I knew the run that I had and the way he races, he'd be hard to run down the lap, but he's so pretty good to beat me the way he went to the line.
Yeah, congratulations, Dan, on a good ride.
Thank you.
Danny Nicolai, the winning rider, speaking with John Letts after the Como Centre Stakes, and Pomcell returning to scale now, trained by Mark Riley at Caulfield, will pay around the $16.20 and $4.40 mark. Remuy $6.30 and Charlesworth $1.50. They're the interim dividends pending correct weight. The numbers there 3, 10 and 1. Officially 4th was Zero Limit. As Gary said, missed the start and ran on well after trouble. And Raving Halo, number 5, has wound up in 5th position. Time 150.2. 150.2 the time. We'll take a break and return to Flemington with all the information on the Como Centre Stakes Race 6.
Pomcell, that's the win dividend for that horse, and $4.40 for the place. Remuy $6.30 and Charlesworth $1.50. Quinella, $167.60. The trifecta, $2,160.70. The race-to-race double, $108.30 on 2 Danarani and 2 Northwood Plume and 3 Pomcell. The margins are half a length. Time was 150.2. The placings were 3, 10 and 1. Fourth in number 2 and fifth in was number 5.
Thank you, Dan. Through the tote call now on the second last event on Oaks Day.
Noisy Pier, Peter, $26.30 for the win. Papal Monarch, $5.30. Been Dancing, $12.80. On Kylie's Run, $11.40. Our Bandolero, $37.40. Explode, $11.10. Open Pearly Gates, $12.60. Send Touch, $20.50. Boomerang, $32.70. Fast Thunder, $32.50. Power Toy, $9.50. Body Wave, $21.80. 13-14 out. 15 Mentats Rule, $57.70. Denvale Miss at $15.70. Mr. Zig, $24.40. Ruling Command, $19.70. Ma On Shan, $8.40. And Socorano, $33.30. So it really is, it's like a Tats Lotto race, this one, a real raffle, Pete.
And a late riding change too. Dan, number 4 on Kylie's Run will now be ridden by Grant Cooksley, replacing Greg Hall, who won't fulfil his mounts for the last 2 races. Grant Cooksley aboard number 4 on Kylie's Run, and we'll need a rider in the last event for number 6, and that is Miss Bright here. And we'll bring that to you as soon as we're notified of it.
Well, maybe that's her first Oaks Day ever, and many, many more to come. Big kiss for Mum. Having a great day. That's terrific. That's what Oaks Day is all about. Ladies' Day, little ones, all the way up to big ones.
It's 30 years since Roy Higgins won the first of his 11 Victorian Jockeys Premierships.
Light fingers, light fingers, they hit the line. A dead heat between Draver and Light Fingers. Third Midlander, followed by...
A sensational cup with a photo finish to decide Light Fingers the winner from stablemate Zaima. And a great day for top-ranking jockey Roy Higgins.
In that time, there has been a wealth of riding talent produced, but no jockey has earned comparison with the Professor until this year.
Welcome back, Damien Oliver. You won the Caulfield Cup on Paris Lane.
Damien Oliver now finds himself being mentioned in the same breath as Higgins, Purtell, Williamson, and other famous names which appear on Turf's honour roll of riders. Oliver might still get embarrassed by the attention, but at 22, he's coming to terms with his lofty place in racing.
You know, you're only as good as your last ride, and you've got to keep producing the results. You know, you look at Mick Dittman, he's the toast of racing, you know, for so many years, and now he's struggling a bit. So, you know, you've got to keep producing the results and, you know, keep riding the winners.
He's a far cry from the homesick, shy 16-year-old West Australian who debated whether to slink back home to Perth after failing to come to grips with life in Melbourne at the Lee Freedman stable. A Caulfield Cup win on Paris Lane a few weeks ago only served to emphasise the authority he's found in adulthood.
You've got to mentally have your wits about you in a race. You've got to be switched on all the time, and it's not only riding the right race in a race, you've got to get on the right ride. So, you know, they say the difference between a good jockey and an average jockey is just a good jockey makes less mistakes.
And he goes for the run up on the inside, took the lead 50 from the post end. Submariner's going to win.
Oliver already has a string of achievements most jockeys would love at the end of their career, and yet he is just beginning. 3 riding premierships, 2 Caulfield Cups, a strike rate of a win every 5 rides, and an estimated payout of $1 million from the VRC Trust Fund for apprentices. Oliver rode 478 winners as an apprentice. As a junior, he won an amazing 18 Group 1 races, more than double Jeff Lane or Malcolm Johnston, the 2 other golden boys of the turf. Oliver expects one day to ride regularly overseas, but for now, he's happiest at headquarters in the spring, riding feature winners with a flourish.
He certainly is just on the top of his form, Damien Oliver, and he's a great little bloke too, so it's terrific to see. Well,
Of course, this is the final day of our Fashion on the Field judging. Today, of course, the judges will select a winner, a heat winner, in each category. That's classic racewear and young contemporary. And I tell you what, they're getting a little bit nervous out here on the field. the big moments arrived. We're about to announce our outright winners in classic racewear and young contemporary. The ladies have done a wonderful job all week. It's been a pretty tough decision for the judges, but there can only be 2 winners in Fashions on the Field.
Champa's all right for you, Pat. Lovely, sweetie. Should we finish off the beluga, or should we have some smoked salmon and nibbly things? Or whatever, sweetie. All right, we'll finish off the beluga. Dolls, stoners, dance, beep, 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 pop, pop, pop. Dolls, stoners, dance, right on time, right on time. Techno, techno, bloody techno, darling.
Our 2 winners of the Crown Casino Fashions on the Field. Tracy, the winner of our young contemporary, how do you feel?
I'm very excited, and I didn't expect to win at all. Great day.
And your outfit you chose yourself?
Yes, I did. It's basically made up of various different designers and just something I sort of found during the year.
Well, congratulations. And Tracy, winner of our classic racewear division, how do you feel?
Over the moon. I can't believe it. It's been a wonderful event. Really enjoyed it.
Surprised?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, well, our 2 very, very lucky winners. They're very excited, and that's it. We're wrapping up here from Crown Casino Fashions on the Field.
Yes, excited, and they look great too. We're in the last. We're down to race number 7 on what's been a marvellous Oaks Day. In fact, that reminds me, I must get a crowd number for you, because I think there's probably 50,000+ here today, which is a tribute to the people of Melbourne. In fact, this week they always come to the races, no matter what the weather is. Hasn't rained too much, but it's been a bit cool and a bit cloudy here today. But as you can see, hasn't dampened any of the enthusiasm. Well, the 7th is just about ready. They're in the mounting yard for the Anti-Cancer Council Country Cup. Peter, I just wanted to prove to myself I could say that.
It's pretty hard to say with a mouthful of marbles, that one, Tim.
Damn right.
Race 7 coming up at 4:10. Getting a bit dark here, and the lights on the semaphore board standing out in the middle of the course. But if you can find the winner, well, you're not really worried about that. And there's the skyline of Melbourne in the distance. You can see those lights on the tape board standing out. And I've been keeping an eye on the figures of number 19 over on that tape board, Jen. It's showing about $6.40. We'll come to it shortly. Let's have a look at the chances here. Papal Monarch number 2 to be ridden by Patrick Payne. Finished second in the Country Cup at Caulfield behind Fast Thunder. So obviously goes reasonably well in this class of race.
Yes, he does, Peter. He probably went a fraction early the other day at Caulfield, but this horse is pretty honest, and he'll give you a good start for your money.
3 Been Dancing, the rider is Spike Short. This horse last start finished second in the Golden Nugget at Ballarat behind Change of Fortune, and Change of Fortune came out, Jen, and was probably a pretty fair thing beaten in the Kyneton Cup yesterday.
He was, Peter. I actually went up there for the Kyneton Cup just for that race, and friends of mine own Change of Fortune, so I was cheering him home, but he did get into a bit of trouble. He was last on the turn there, and he flew home. This horse led in that particular race. Change of Fortune just got him on the line there, so he's probably the leader here. A little bit tougher this race for him, but he's there with a chance.
On Kylie's run, number 4, nicely drawn. Grant Cooksley takes the ride, replacing Greg Hall here in the 7th race on the program, and he's been showing good form up on the border.
Yes, his last 3 runs have been very good. He's been competitive in town before, this fellow, and he's got ability. He's a place chance.
Explode's form is nothing to write home about, number 6, Damien Oliver, the rider, so naturally it will have some support. But he's got some ability, this horse, and looks reasonably well suited in this type of race.
He hasn't produced that ability this time in, though, Peter. That's been the disappointing part about this fellow. He does need to improve here.
Open Pearly Gates, number 7. And here the rider is apprentice Jim Surkey from the famous Surkey family, and he's been going pretty well at Werribee.
Yes, he led there, and he's one of the likely leaders here. In fact, there's going to be a fair bit of speed on here because there's about 4 horses in this race that do like to get to the front. He was run down at Werribee last start, and I'm not keen on him here, Pete.
Let's go to these emergencies now, getting a start, and he's an impressive-looking customer, this fellow, Maron Shan, number 19. Stevie King is the rider, and John Marr the trainer, and he hit the front just after they straightened at Geelong. Jen just powered away and won by 5 lengths.
Oh, that was a very impressive win there at Geelong, Peter. He's in on the minimum with 51 kilos, and he's going to be very hard to beat, this fellow.
Now, give us the reasons why you give number 20, Socorano, a chance at big odds.
Well, he's only had the 11 starts. He's won 2 of those, and he's run second twice. He's got a fair bit of ability, and I think he's a definite improver in this race. He only comes in with 51 kilos. He's been carrying very heavy weights in his last 4 races. He's fitter now, and I just thought at the odds, he's got a pretty good chance.
The punters are listening to you, Jen. It's into $18 now on the tape, but don't feel any pressure, for goodness sake.
No, not at all, Pete. Nerves of steel here.
Sum it up.
Okay.
Race 7.
Number 20, Sakurano, to win from number 19, Maron Maron Sean, and number 17, Mr. Zig, to run third.
So I've gone for Maron Sean, number 19, in what is a very open race, normally a wide betting race, and this year's Country Cup is no exception as they go to the stalls now for race 7, and then after that, the last coming up today, the Maybe Mahal Handicap, but now the tote call on race 7 with Dan.
Peter Noisy Pier, $25.90. Papal Monarch at $5.30. Been Dancing, $12.30. On Kylie's Run, $13.60. Our Bandolero, $41. Explode, $11.80. Open Pearly Gates, $14.90. Send Touch, $21.10. 9 Boomerang at $34.60. Fast Thunder, $38.60. Power Toy, $12.50. Body Wave, $23.70. Mentats Rule number 15 at $75. Denvale Mist, $23.10. Mr. Zig, $18.30. Ruling Command, $22.20. Ma on Shan, $5.40. And is equal favourite with Papal Monarch. And Socorano, $18.40. So once again, a very wide open affair.
Okay, Dan, and plenty of activity in the betting ring, but 1,800 metres, so over on the riverside they start. Pretty quick run down to that first turn. So in 200 metres, they'll need to take a position in this big field. Wide gates a disadvantage unless you can begin quickly and find the rail. And there are the selections. Maron Shan from myself, Socorano from Jenny, Papal Monarch from Johnny Letts. And I don't know whether Roy's gone for Socorano or whether he's gone for Maron Shan. I think he might have gone for Maron Shan, number 19. Well, as they go to the stalls, we'll take a break. Back with the running of the Anti-Cancer Council Country Cup at 4:10 in just a moment.
Start the night.
Our On Kylie's Run was one of the first out. Maron Shan jumped out pretty well with Bean Dancing going up towards the lead. Open Pearly Gates is also pressing on, so there's good speed up front. Just in behind those when they settle down now. Up wider on the track, getting to about 7th was Body Wave. Power Toy was up forward. Send Touch about midfield, and then our Bandolero, Mentats Rule, Explode getting back. They were followed by Ruling Command and Noisy Pier, and back to the tail end of the field. Papal Monarch and Fast Thunders caught them, but he missed at 20 lengths. Open Pearly Gates worked to the lead at the 900, leads a length now to Mr. Zig. Then came Ruling Command, followed by Power Toy, and over on the inside On Kylie's Run from Bean Dancing. Body Wave was next, and then Maron Shan. A length further back to Boomerang, and they were followed by Denvale Mist, just held up at switch wide from Mentats Rule. Our Bandolero, Noisy Pier, well back as they made the home turn. Fast Thunder still last of all, and Papal Monarch second last on the rail. Into the straight, 550 metres to go. Open Pearly Gates in front of Mr. Zig. In third placing, Ruling Command, and to the outside, Power Toy. Maron Shan works into the race very stylishly. Running on out further onto the track now at the 400-metre point was Body Wave, Explode and Socorano. Maron Shan sprinted to the front of the 252 clear. Explode runs on Socorano, Power Toy, then Body Wave, and Denvale Miss. Maron Shan 2.5 lengths in front. Trying hard to pick it back was Power Toy, then came Explode, Socorano, but Maron Shan's too good. Maron Shan 2.5, Explode, Power Toy, then Socorano, followed by Noisy Pier, who ran on well. Body Wave, Denvale Miss was next home. Then our Bandolero and Send Touch, followed by Mr. Zig, Mentats Rule, On Kylie's Run, Bean Dancing, Open Pearly Gates, Papal Monarch, Ruling Command, Boomerang, and Fast Thunder last of all.
Great win down, and Maron Shan, by gee, the money was right for it. It's jumped from a Class 1 race at Geelong, was it? Straight into this top company here at Flemington, and it's done the job very well. Explode was a very good run. He got trapped a bit wide. But boy, all the honours were with the winner. It straight away.
$4.10 and $1.90 approximately for Ma on Shan. Explode $4.20 and Power Toy $4.80. 19, 6 and 11. He was always travelling Ma on Shan, and the jockey just had such a terrific stranglehold on it. Steve King, when they straighten up at the 400-metre park, he was the one you wanted to be on.
Certainly, and this here's a good shot here. Is Maron Shan just going to the lead. 3 off the inside rail. Going very well here. Stephen King just gives him a couple with the stick, waves it in him past his head. Another one there. Got onto the fence now. Explodes the one in the blue and white. 3 off the fence, getting home to run second. And on the fence, what was it that ran third? Or just
Power Toy third.
Toy.
See, Brett Preble, who was on Socorano, he seemed to be in some difficulty in the last 200 metres. He's in the grain colours just out of the screen. There he is now. Have a look. He's sort of...
looks like it's just wanting to get in on top of the other horse. But here's a great shot here of Stephen King. We've said before, these two great riders, Stephen King and Damien Oliver. There's a good head on one here. There's Stephen going to the front and the gold cap. Damien Oliver's got the striped cap, blue and white with a breastplate about 5 from the inside. And the one in the green on the outside of Damien Oliver's mount just wants to get it on top of him here. He's had to stop riding here. Now he's straightened up and he's going pretty straight.
All honest with the winner. It was well supported. John Letts has the winning jockey, Stephen King, and it, let's see, it was a copybook ride.
It's a beautiful ride. It's a real Stephen King ride. Drew a good gate, got into a beautiful position to travel well all the way. Steve, confident all the way?
Yes, I was, Johnny. You know, he raced really well today, and I was never in doubt.
He's a nice type of horse, Steve, isn't he? Did he give you a good ride through the run? Like, he's come from a Class 1 at Geelong straight here to Flemington.
Yeah, well, I think he's improved a lot since Geelong, and he's really matured a lot in his last couple of runs, so it was a nice run for him.
And when you got to the lead, he just strode away, didn't he? It was just a matter of how far then.
Yeah, when I got to the lead and gave him a click, he really put 2 on him quick, and that was it.
Well, Steve, you've had a pretty quiet time over the carnival so far, one on Tuesday and one today, but hope we can follow you again on Saturday and you get back amongst them.
As long as I keep winning, Johnny, I don't care.
Good luck, Steve.
Johnny Letts there with Stephen King. Horse starting favourite in the race too, about $4.10, so it was very heavily supported. Pete, in fact, I would suggest that perhaps the best back runner all day was that winner, Maron Shan.
Yeah, it's come into play about $4.10 when they went past the post. That's what it was showing on the tape, and obviously, as Terry Kennedy said, it was the medium of good support in the betting ring, and he does look like a horse on the up, as both his rider Stephen King and Johnny Letts just mentioned. 19, 6 and 11 are the numbers. Officially fourth was Socorano. Jenny's Pickers run a big race and Noisy Pier fifth. Time was 1:37. John Marr still hasn't appeared in the mounting yard yet. He normally watches the races from the hill stand, so it takes John Marr quite a while to get down. So I think we might take a break. Hopefully we'll be able to have a chat to John Marr, and we'll be back at Flemington very shortly.
On Shan, $4.10 and $1.90. 6 Explode, $4.20, and 11 Power Toy, $4.80. The Quinella, $31.30. The Trifecta, $693.10. The Race to Race Double, $114.50. The Daily Double today will pay $28.30 on the combination of 2 and 9. And the Quadrella, obviously in Victoria, as all these dividends are, the Quadrella, $8,525.70. 8,525.70. So a length and 3/4 a neck the margins, and the time, Tim, was 1 minute and 37 seconds.
Thank you, Dan. Well, PD got that one right. Maron Shan, good win too. And being led around and him looking pretty happy about his life as well.
Timeless Grace, a scratching horse number 1. Caramia Star, horse 2 at $17 even. Viminaria, $4.30. Pompeii Lady, $14.60. Racing Ruler, $14.30. Miss Brightier, $12.10. Pre-Packers Dream, $7.20. Our Red Stars, $16. Sagacious Lass, $13.70. Sparkling Fun, $14.90. Leanza, $7.50. Washington Babe, $43.80. Nia Call, $28.30. Same price for Angel Lorraine. Sarah's Melody, $28.50. Scratchings are at number 16. And Cheers at $92.90 and Golden Morello $22.50. So numbers 1 and 16 are the omissions, and Viminaria opening up the early favourite, Peter.
Light rain just falling here and nothing really to worry about. The umbrella's up as a precaution. One man who hasn't been getting wet, well, not on the outside anyway, is Terry Kennedy down there in the betting ring.
Yeah, 100 bookmakers fielding at Flemington today. I'm down in the Elms ring at the moment, and one of the more colourful is Eric Timms, who was ranked number 8 in the world as a flyweight many years ago. But in 1951, he swapped leather gloves for leather bag. Eric is a former chairman of the Victorian Bookmakers Association, and in his heyday matched it with the best on the rails.
Oaks Day, this day last year, there was quite a few women come, and that's what they call it Oaks Day for, of course. And there was 3 ladies in front of my stand, of course, and one of them was saying that she'd like to have $1 on number 6. So I turned around and looked at the horse and said $6 to 1, number 6. And the other lady in front of her said, look, I'd like $1 on 8. And of course, I said $8 to 1 number 8, and because we don't work by numbers, of course. And I said, names, please, lady, names. She said, well, look, that's Mrs. Ferguson. She said, that's Mrs. Johnson. My name's O'Sullivan. So, you know.
This day 12 months ago, he struck a real curler.
See, there was a protest. And I was singing out 5 to 1 a horse in the protest. And as you're well aware, there's only 2 in the protest. And a young lady came up and she said, I'll have $1 each way. Now, you know, there's only 2 in the race. Yet these things happen.
He's a good bloke. Funny guy, too. Got to have your wits about you if you're a bookie, let me tell you, because it could mean a lot of money. We'll take a break and come back with the closing stages of Oaks Day 94 from Flemington in Melbourne.